You have said that the current Board of Commissioners has consistently squeezed the annual budgets, harming our education system. Would you give some specifics of the budget cuts and some examples of how the education system has been harmed?
Well, one of the capital improvement projects that has never come to fruition is, of course, the Northeast High School. And that, in light of Chatham Park, that may redirect where you want to start thinking about adding additional schools in the county. The other thing is the delay in working through the backlog of those school repairs. Those school repairs needed to be done, and they have been, I believe, the last 2 years. They have really picked up, and the restrooms and roofs are very, very critical. And that includes a number of schools, I believe, including Silk Hope, Bonley, and as well as the recreational facilities. But the other thing that was the reduction of the TAs. We lost 51 teaching assistants a couple of years ago. There could have been more money put in the budget to keep them in place. I mean, I realize this board is dealing with a very recalcitrant state government that is very, very late in their budgetary processes, and you don't even know when those budget dollars are going to be determined. It might be August, and I understand that is a real liability in terms of budgeting on the county level. But I think that the county Board of Education tries to put together its best guess. Also, there was, I believe it was 2012, where there was no access for, nor accounting for student population growth in that year's budget. That was a shortfall.
Okay, sometimes it might be hard to tell which office we're running for, if you're a school board or county commissioner. School board submits a request to the county commissioners, and the county commissioners either pass that budget or they don't pass that budget. That's the law. But when I hear a candidate talk about harming the education system, I look at results. How is our education system doing? I won't go into the detail again about how we've spent more money. But when you look at our school system, I don't think you can say it's been harmed. 2 of our high schools are now nationally top-ranked American high schools. That's the first time ever that's happened. The graduation rate exceeds the state average. SAT scores are up 10%. All 17 of our schools met or exceeded the expected growth rate. We have a 1-to-1 laptop program that's fully funded. Chatham County schools outperform North Carolina in math 1, biology, English 2, and the ACTs. So I look at that, and I look at the improvements that the county's doing on the facilities, and I think the system hasn't been harmed. But again, the request comes from the Board of Education. They're an elected body. And that's why every year when we pass a budget and it's submitted to us, I ask whoever's given us that presentation, whether it be the superintendent or the school board chair, in this case, this year is the school board chair, and I ask, does this budget that you've submitted us, does it fund all of your priorities? And the answer was yes. If the answer had been no, there would have been more discussion. But the school board told us that we were funding all of their priorities.
I'd like to address that too. So yes, on May 19th, Commissioner Bach called the superintendent, our chief financial officer, and 2 board members to a meeting. And on the pretense of digging deeper into a document that we had given him in January for further clarification on what had changed, when in fact nothing had changed, he proceeded to pontificate his political position. I will not hold the school system hostage to this election. I won't. I'm running unopposed, and the sad truth is that what Mr. Commissioner Bach is saying is equivalent to saying, oh look, I'm paying my employees less and they're still feeding their children. Well, yes, we are. So we are doing a darn good job of educating our kids in spite of not having textbooks, of having ceilings that leak, of having antiquated computers in the hands of the teachers, in spite of having a lack of teacher assistance, a real lack of teacher assistance in the classroom. So we are doing a fantastic job, but that's not on the back of the commissioners. That's on the back of the employees of Chatham County Schools who pick up the slack, regardless of how we treat them. And in fact, in every school in North Carolina, you will find that that is simply the kind of human being that goes into education, that they will do it every single day, no matter how we denigrate that position. That's why we're doing well.
Yes, I just need to say, the law says the school board needs to request funds. We meet with them throughout the year, they tell us what they need, and we've always funded what they've asked for. If there's a priority that's not being funded, they need to let us know that, other than an election year. Because we've worked pretty well together. The former chair and current vice chair says he would challenge anybody anywhere in the state to find a board of commissioners and a board of education that works better together. Our administrations, our staff, the administration, they were great. The school board even nominated us for a statewide award for how well we work together with them. So if this weren't an election year, I don't know that this would be coming up.
Not this school board.
The next question is going to go to the Republican team, and it's